Walter Winterbottom, England's first team manager. From 1946 to 62, Walter Winterbottom served as England's first ever national team manager. He led the squad through 4 World Cup campaigns without winning a title, but with lasting influence. Back then, control over sporting decisions often still rested with the FA, limiting Winterbottom's influence on lineups and tactics. Still, he's remembered as an important organizer, someone who brought structure to chaos, introduced modern training methods, and laid the groundwork for the national team's long-term development. He was less of a traditional coach, more a football administrator, calm, methodical, and precise. His era laid the foundation on which future success could be built. Alf Ramsey, the architect of England's greatest triumph. When Alf Ramsey took charge in 1963, few could have foreseen what would follow. Just 3 years later, he guided England to their one and only World Cup title, a triumph that defied a generation. With his famously calm manner, sharp tactical mind, and the innovative wingless wonders system, he built a team that was defensively solid and ruthlessly efficient. Ramsey believed in discipline and unity, not big egos. After 1966, he led England to the Euro 1968 semi-finals before suffering an unlucky World Cup exit in 1970. The decline that followed ended with his dismissal in 1974, but his name remains etched into England's football history like no other. Joe Mercer, experience in a time of transition. In 1974, after Ramsey's departure, Joe Mercer stepped in as an interim manager. A respected former Manchester City coach, he led England through just 7 games, including the British Home Championship. He didn't attempt a revolution. Instead, he brought calm, stability, and trust to a squad in limbo. Players appreciated his experience and quiet authority. He was exactly what England needed at the moment. Mercer never aimed for the job long term, but his brief spell brought order at a time when things could have fallen apart. Don Revie, high hopes, harsh reality. Don Revie arrived in 1974 with a glowing reputation from Leeds United, but quickly found that managing a national team was a very different challenge. He relied on detailed tactics, frequent lineup changes, and seemed to lack the clarity and authority the role demanded. England failed to qualify for Euro 1976, and their 1978 World Cup campaign looked bleak. Then came the shock. In 1977, Revie secretly agreed to join the Saudi FA, while still officially England's manager. His tenure remains one of the most controversial in English football, a story of great promise that never delivered. Ron Greenwood, the quiet reformer. Ron Greenwood took charge in 1977, initially as a temporary solution, but quickly proved he was the right man for the job. He brought back stability, relied on teamwork and calm leadership, and championed a more technical, passing-based game. Under his watch, England qualified for Euro 1980 and the 1982 World Cup, their first major tournament in over a decade. He gave chances to rising talents like Brian Robson and stood for substance over noise. England stayed unbeaten at the 1982 World Cup, but were eliminated in the second group stage. Greenwood stepped down soon after, leaving behind a team far more confident than the one he inherited. Bobby Robson, the people's manager. Between 1982 and 90, Bobby Robson guided England through one of the most dramatic periods in their footballing history. His reign began with turbulence, the infamous Hand of God defeat to Argentina in 1986, but his team grew stronger with time. The peak came in Italia 90, where England reached the semi-finals after a series of unforgettable games, only to lose on penalties to Germany. Robson was loved for his warmth, integrity, and emotional honesty. His choices were not always popular, but the results often proved him right. He left his post with his head held high, remembered not just as a coach, but as a gentleman of English football, and the man who brought England within touching distance of another World Cup final. Graham Taylor, the misunderstood one. Graham Taylor took over as England manager in 1990 following Bobby Robson's emotional departure. Although he led England to Euro 1992 with a solid qualifying campaign, the tournament itself was a disappointment. England crashed out in the group stage without a win. After that, the pressure mounted. Taylor's tenure was marked by tactical uncertainty and frequent squad changes, many of which failed to deliver results. The lowest point came in 1993. England failed to qualify for the 1994 World Cup, a campaign marred by a controversial defeat to the Netherlands. Taylor resigned before the year was out. To this day, his time in charge stands as a reminder of how quickly public opinion and relentless pressure can wear down even the most well-meaning manager. Terry Venables, short but influential. Terry Venables was appointed in 1994 with one clear goal: guide England to Euro 1996 on home soil. He brought in a fluid attacking style and trusted a core of technical, expressive players like Gascoigne, Shearer and Sheringham. Under Venables, England played with freedom and won back the nation's support. The semi-final run at Euro 96 remains one of the most emotional chapters in English football. The journey ended, as so often, in a penalty shootout against Germany. Despite the tournament's success, Venables stepped down soon after, partly due to off-field legal disputes. His reign was brief, but his impact on style and spirit still echoes today. Glenn Hoddle, talent without time. Glenn Hoddle took the reins in 1996 after the Euros. He favoured a technically gifted side, introduced modern tactical ideas and gave chances to young talents like Michael Owen. At the 1998 World Cup, England played attractive football and looked promising, but were again knocked out by Argentina, again on penalties, this time in the round of 16. While the football showed promise, Hoddle's time unravelled off the pitch. Controversial remarks about disabled people sparked public outrage, and in 1999 he was dismissed. His spell remains one of tactical intrigue, but ultimately defined by a regrettable exit. Howard Wilkinson, the temporary steady hand. Howard Wilkinson stepped in twice in 1999 as caretaker manager, first after Hoddle's departure, then briefly again after Kevin Keegan's. The former Leeds boss had a clear task: hold things together until a permanent replacement was found. England failed to win either game under his short reign, but his mission was never about transformation. Wilkinson wasn't a candidate for the full-time job, nor did he want to be. His contribution is now remembered as a brief, necessary footnote in a time of flux. Kevin Keegan, heart over tactics. Kevin Keegan took over in 1999, loved by fans and revered as a playing legend, but with limited coaching experience at the international level. He led with emotion, motivation, and a focus on attacking play, but when it came to tactical structure, his England sides often lacked direction. At Euro 2000, England started with promise, beating Germany, but failed to escape the group after a drastic collapse against Portugal and a final defeat. Keegan resigned in October 2000, immediately after a home loss to Germany at the old Wembley. His tenure was full of passion and good intentions, but lacked the framework needed for sustained success. Peter Taylor, one night, one decision. In 2000, Peter Taylor took charge of England for just one match following Keegan's resignation. There wasn't much time to change things. England lost 0-1 to Italy with a youthful squad, but Taylor made a decision that would define the decade. He named David Beckham captain for the first time. That symbolic move signaled a generational shift and earned Taylor credit for looking to the future. He was never seriously in the frame for the permanent job, but his one evening in charge left a lasting legacy. Sven-Göran Eriksson, the calculated professional. In 2001, Sven-Göran Eriksson became the first foreigner to manage England. Calm, methodical and diplomatic, he brought a sense of order to a team often plagued by chaos. With a squad dubbed the Golden Generation, Beckham, Gerrard, Lampard, Rooney, Eriksson guided England to 3 major tournaments, the 2002 and 6 World Cups and Euro 2004. Each time, the journey ended in the quarterfinals. Admired for his cool demeanour but often criticised for playing it too safe, Eriksson never quite unlocked the full potential of his star-studded side. He stepped down in 2006 amid a mix of public scrutiny and private controversy. Solid on paper, his time remains one of English football's great what-ifs. Steve McClaren, from hope to headline. Appointed in 2006, Steve McClaren seemed a natural successor, young, ambitious, and already familiar with the squad from his time as assistant. But his reign quickly unravelled. England's Euro 2008 qualifying campaign was riddled with inconsistency, and it all collapsed with a decisive loss to Croatia at Wembley. For the first time since 1984, England missed a major tournament. The media was brutal. One image defined his tenure. McClaren, helpless under an umbrella, became the Wally with the Brawley. He was sacked in 2007. His spell remains a symbol of managerial pressure and a painful low point in England's modern history. Fabio Capello, authority without connection. When Fabio Capello took charge in 2008, he arrived with prestige, discipline, and a winning resume. England qualified comfortably for the 2010 World Cup, but at the tournament, the team crumbled, suffering a 1-4 defeat to Germany in the round of 16. Capello's strict approach and lack of rapport with players drew criticism. In 2012, he resigned after the FA stripped John Terry of the captaincy without consulting him, following Terry's involvement in a racial abuse case. Capello felt undermined and walked away. Despite decent results, his tenure felt distant. A world-class name who never quite clicked with England's football culture. Stuart Pearce, the symbolic stand-in. Stuart Pearce stepped in as a caretaker manager in 2012 after Capello's abrupt departure. A former international and under-21 coach, Pearce brought passion and pride, qualities that defined him as a player. He led England for one friendly, a narrow 2-3 loss to the Netherlands. It was his only game, but his presence was symbolic, a brief bridge between eras and a nod to England's fighting spirit. Roy Hodgson, experience without the ending. Hired in 2012, Roy Hodgson was seen as a steady hand for a team in transition. He led England to Euro 2012, the 2014 World Cup, and Euro 2016, but failed to make a lasting mark at any. Early exits, conservative tactics, and a lack of spark became hallmarks of his reign. The lowest point came at Euro 2016, a 2-1 defeat to Iceland in the round of 16. Despite a talented squad, England looked timid and uninspired, polite, measured, and respected. Hodgson's approach didn't match the new generation's energy. He resigned after the Iceland loss, a reign remembered as a missed opportunity. Sam Allardyce, the one-game manager. In 2016, Sam Allardyce was chosen to steady the ship after Hodgson's departure. A no-nonsense, experienced figure, he was expected to restore confidence and lead England to the 2018 World Cup. He started well, a 1-0 win over Slovakia, but never coached another match. Just weeks later, a newspaper sting revealed him speaking casually about ways to bypass transfer rules. The fallout was swift. Allardyce resigned after only 67 days in charge. One win, one scandal, and a chapter closed before it ever really began. Gareth Southgate, from interim to inspiration. Gareth Southgate took charge in 2016, initially as a stopgap after Sam Allardyce's abrupt departure. Calm, thoughtful, and methodical, he quickly impressed both players and officials, and was soon appointed permanently. What began as a temporary solution became one of the most stable and successful eras in England's modern football history. At the 2018 World Cup, Southgate led England to the semi-finals. At Euro 2021, they reached the final, falling only in a heartbreaking penalty shootout against Italy. His reign was marked by clear communication, trust in young talent, and a modern professional team culture. At the 2022 World Cup in Qatar, England looked confident once again, strong in the group stage, dominant in the last 16, but edged out 2-1 by France in a close quarter-final with Harry Kane missing a crucial penalty. Despite the exit, the team earned respect for their performance. Euro 2024 brought another deep run, another final. This time, England lost narrowly to Spain 1-2. Soon after the tournament, Southgate stepped down, ending an 8-year chapter. He will be remembered as the manager who brought England back to the top tier, created unforgettable moments, and came agonizingly close to a major title more than once. Lee Carsley, calm after the storm. Following Southgate's resignation in the summer of 2024, Lee Carsley stepped in as caretaker manager. The former U21 boss, who had guided England to the U21 European title in 2023, was seen as a steady hand during a period of transition. Known for his calm demeanor and strong connection with the younger generation, Carsley wasn't brought in to revolutionize the team, but to maintain stability while the FA searched for a long-term successor. His brief spell wasn't about results, it was about continuity and a clean handover. Thomas Tuchel, a new era with German precision. In autumn 2024, Thomas Tuchel was named England manager, the first foreign coach since Fabio Capello. With his appointment, the FA made a clear statement. Experience, structure, and tactical excellence would define the next chapter. Tuchel brought with him a proven track record, Champions League success, elite club experience with Chelsea, PSG, and Borussia Dortmund, and a reputation for meticulous preparation and innovation. Known more for system than sentiment, he was hired to take England from hopeful contenders to actual champions. Tuchel's arrival marked a shift, a new identity, a new tone, and a clear demand for results. His mission is simple: to do what no one has done since 1966. win it all. Who do you think was England's greatest manager? Let us know in the comments, and if you enjoyed this, give it a like and subscribe for more untold football stories.